Truly, this public health crisis and the economic shutdown has stretched our ability to hold everything together by our fingertips. If resilience is absorbing the impact and bouncing back with an equal or greater response, have we done that in this very trying season since the pandemic was announced and since we've been dealing with health crisis and caring for our neighbors in ways that are so unfamiliar? Our commitment to our family and our community are very valuable here. We hold those things dear in Beaver County because we've lost so much, and so we hold on tightly to the things that matter to us. But when it comes to our economy, our quality of life, our education, our housing, our governance, do we really have the tools that we need to bounce back from adversity?
You know, we're in a place where we've never experienced any of this before, and so creativity has to be characteristic of everything we do, and that can be uncomfortable for sure. Now, where are you or your organization observing gaps in community resilience during COVID-19?
The big thing that I heard was reaching the people who have never really been part of, and I'm going to say the word system, that might not know how to get help. You know, all the new people that are unemployed. Is there a way to reach them?
Society is kind of at this point where we realize that, you know, there is no going back to normal. You know, we need to sort of restructure all of these systems in order to make them more resilient and build a better world after the pandemic. But at the same time, I mean, we're just navigating everything, like all of the logistical challenges of the pandemic, and we haven't really figured it out yet.
People don't know that we're open, that we're here, and I'm assuming it might be that way for other nonprofits in our community. You know, we had just under 3,000 people withdraw their membership, which is a huge financial implication to this Y. And if we don't have members that come back, we're not going to be able to fund food, and then kids are going to go hungry. I believe in, you know, what happens to us all. But if people don't have the word that they need food, or clothing, or whatever the need is, and that word is not out there, no matter how hard we try, we're not going to make a difference in anyone's life.
We have seen so many changes over the last 6 months in the housing piece that it's been really crazy ride for us, and I anticipated even getting crazier once this eviction moratorium is up here in Beaver County.
I feel like I could spend my entire life chasing the next new emergency crisis grant response application. You know, I could just get up every day and write grant applications.
Yeah, I completely understand. There's so much opportunity and there's not enough staff to do it. And then, you know, if you do all that, then when do you get all your other work done that needs to get done to continue meeting the needs of the community?
We have to try to remember as nonprofits to utilize the 211 resource. You know, the navigators are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to connect people to services. And if you are a nonprofit, please make sure you register on the 211 website so that you can get referrals.
We're trying to absorb these restrictions that might be placed on business, and then we're trying to figure out how do we still productively make this worthwhile in terms of doing business, but also continue to protect consumers and employees alike.
If it's a restaurant, you know, cut down the menu, simplify your process. You don't have to provide everything to everyone. A lot of the businesses I've spoke to have said, I wish I would have done this before.
The early parts of the PPP funding in round one really favored the larger businesses because they had access to the reporting, the financial reports, and the departments and everything that they needed to really get in on that round one that was very competitive. As different industries start to struggle more, they become higher risk, and banks are naturally risk averse, so it becomes harder and harder to lend to the industries that are going to be most affected by this. Hospitality, restaurant, and the ones being most affected are a huge source of jobs. It's going to have to be a multi-layered solution to try to keep everything functioning.
There's a million great ideas, and yes, people have to be positive and try these things, but I guess I just want to speak for those of us who have been intensely creative have pivoted probably 3 or 4 times, have gone online, have done all of the things, taken all the webinars, and it's just still not working. And I think we need to be careful, because we could be creating a shame culture in the business community that if you did not survive, you didn't try hard enough, you weren't positive enough, you weren't resilient enough. And I think that's really dangerous.
I think it's the time for us as Beaver County to stand together, diversify your organization, and receive the innovation and creativity that all people can bring to these small businesses.
I think there's a real temptation to just get really comfortable with being isolated, where we're disconnected from other municipalities, perhaps unaccountable to a bigger context or to our neighbors.
I think that's my biggest problem here, is being isolated from everything and everyone, and trying to keep everything sanitized and clean, and dealing with people who are angry because they have to put a mask on and ones who don't, and then you have to fear for yourself.
I think this pandemic really raised light to us looking deeper into regionalization, the impacts to our respective budgets, and how we're going to rebound from this. I don't know.
So I think a lot of us, when we hear regionalization, we think about our identity. We think about losing our identity, and we got to come to an understanding that if we gonna go, let's go willingly instead of having being forced by mandate. And, and if the financial pandemic comes in 2022 and 2021, 22, I'd rather walk into it with the quip, with the tiger, with the warrior, with the bridger.
Placemaking, actually knowing who we are in the places that we are, that does happen at a local level.
If the boroughs of New York City can maintain their identity, we all can maintain our identity through a smart, efficient regionalization process.
What things are truly local, and what things do we need to do better together?
We have a decision about how we refer to the experience we're traveling through together here. We're looking for the opportunity to move through struggle and challenge in a way that makes us, better, that makes us more capable of locking arms and doing the things that we want to do as a region.
Like what we've learned with the collapse of the steel industry, we've learned that we need to do something different, or we're going to keep getting the same results here in Beaver County of consistently working with less resources and consistently working towards just dealing with the things that are right in front of us.